All right, looks like we're coming up on 7 o'clock. David, can you hear me okay? Is my audio coming through?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Awesome.
Awesome.
Might not have as big of a crowd this time. I know people kind of came in throughout last time. So I see we've got Mason from Cardinal and Nick and Lucy from Guardian Games. Yeah, so basically the way we do this, I don't know if y'all were part of the last one. Yeah, I kind of went into a little bit of just some of the updates we've been making to the platform. Just while you guys can submit questions or any issues you want to bring up or whatever, we can just kind of talk about it here in an open forum. So yeah, if you want to send something in the chat, or I think there's also a Q&A thing that the Zoom provides that you can type a question into. I will just go ahead and kind of start rolling through some of our release notes over the past month. And yeah, just stop me if you have a question.
I'll just repost this link in the notifications channel as well for
Yeah.
anyone that's maybe missed it.
Yeah. So for anybody that hasn't seen it, we've got a development blog now. So we do a monthly just kind of update of everything we've been working on, and then weekly release notes. And you can actually see that in the BinderPOS portal now. So for those of you who have or haven't seen here on the homepage for the portal, we've got these latest updates. So you can actually go in and click on these release notes, and we do it weekly. We skipped last week because of Thanksgiving, but we'll have weekly release notes, and it just kind of targets some of the bugs and things that we've addressed that week. And so I'll just kind of roll through those. I'll skip over some of them that are just kind of bug fixes or internal things, but really anything that affects the point of sale or the theme, I'll my taskbar. Yeah, yep, I've got a lot of stuff running. So yeah, so we'll just start with the beginning of the month. So we had a few issues with Marketplace Sync that we've resolved. Just as that was the CFP Marketplace was, just a few weeks underway at that point. Shopify themes. We had a few just minor bugs where the show out of stock setting wasn't respected in some themes in some areas. We made the search bar in the new standard theme permanent. So that was a lot of feedback we got from the new standard theme, was that the search bar was something you had to click to activate. This puts it in the top of the header where it should be. And we've got the add to cart button in the new standard theme, kind of makes that flow a little bit faster. So we're noticing the way that it was laid out might have been affecting a little bit of conversions, just how quickly someone can add something to the cart and check out. So we got that resolved. Point of sale wise, we've got we had a regression, so that means a bug that we accidentally introduced when we were trying to update something. So there's a brief moment, I believe that Monday, where barcodes weren't quite scanning properly if you happen to have two items that had the same barcode, which is the case with a lot of structured decks and stuff for some of the games, but we got that one wrapped up. Online buy lists, there were a few issues with some Pokemon cards that just a glitch where they weren't appearing in the online buy list. That was resolved. We had some of those broken image links that actually came from how we added sealed product to our catalog, and there was a bit of code that was trying to bring that in to the buy list, which obviously isn't something the buy list supports. So that was why they had those weird images there. We got that one fixed up. And we had some issues with some Flesh and Blood Unlimited cards that weren't pushing inventory whenever those buy lists were finalized, and that's been wrapped up, and I think all affected customers were notified. Catalog update service, this is kind of more of an internal thing, but this is the service that pushes updates out to you guys whenever we have catalog updates. And so it's a really massive service. There's a queue where all these jobs kind of live waiting to go out. And so we had some issues where we would try to push a fix. So if you ever get a ticket in Freshdesk where one of the account managers says we're going to push a fix for you, that's usually what they're referring to. And those jobs were stalling out and taking a little bit longer than we expected. And we had a bug with variant ordering. So I think there were a few customers that had, were near mint, lightly played, moderately played, etc. The ordering wasn't being respected, so we got that wrapped up. And for the next week, we've got notes on carts in the point of sale. So if you ever need to add a note to the cart, those can be added and edited and viewed in the cart history. We had an issue where tags for the product search sometimes return to unknown error. So that's basically in the advanced search where you can filter out products by tags. That was not returning any available tags. I think there is still an open bug with the tag search that we're still working on. I have to double check and see where that's at, but this was more of the displaying of available tags. Wasn't working properly. We did an overhaul on the kiosk. So anybody that uses a kiosk, we're looking for feedback on this. Basically, originally our kiosk was a branch of the point of sale where we reduced a lot of the features and stuff that the point of sale had to make a kiosk, and that was fine. But over the years, and I think the last time that was updated was the last physical gamma, so that would have been almost 2 years ago. Just over years, we've added updates to the point of sale, and that wasn't mirroring in the kiosk. And so the way the kiosk works now is it's actually the same code. And so whenever we make updates to the point of sale, that'll reflect in the kiosk, and we just kind of have some settings there that prevent when we build out the kiosk any of the features that would not be customer facing from appearing there. Let's see, I got a question from Nick and Lucy at Guardian Games. Can the buy list number be shown on the buy list page itself? Yeah, I think we could do that. David, when I mentioned these, you mind making a developer ticket?
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, that way we can have them. And so it looks like that's one Pete could probably take care of, so we can tag that. So buy list number be shown on the buy list page itself. Now I want to double check with when you say buy list page, is that in the portal or is that in the actual buy list page that your customers would use? And then the second part, the portal. Okay, yeah. So Pete can definitely add that. The second part is expand the search function when adding cards to an existing buy list. Yeah, I think that there's like an issue with like the number of results that it shows, and like you're probably trying to find a card and it's not appearing in like the top 10 or whatever it displays. Is that what you're asking for here? Yeah. Yep. Okay, we've got it. I think we've got an issue for that one. So I think that one's actually in the works. But David, if you could just double check that we've either got that in there or just go ahead and make another one. We'll just merge it in. Awesome.
Sounds good.
Yeah, those seem like two reasonable ones that we can definitely get taken care of fairly quickly. Let's see here. So yep, we've got some issues. Fresh chat icon would overlay the point of sale, so we move that over to the left. We had some typos. So this is a new one. If a barcode scan would oversell an item, there's now a setting where you can get a warning. Actually display what this looks like. I'm gonna try. I'm always gonna be logged in on the wrong account. Oh, nope. So let's see here. Yep. So I've actually got Otcon's run barcoded as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I use it to test a lot. But there's now a setting. I'll just show where that's at. If you go to MISC settings, check inventory of scanned items. So, so when you're searching for something, it tells you the inventory, so you know if it's about to go negative or not. But when you scan an item, it's not clear. So if you add this setting, you'll get a pop-up now. So if something's about to go to below 0, when I scan it, I get this warning, and I can cancel or proceed anyway. And if I proceed anyway, I'll add it to the cart. Let's see, Dylan, have you guys fixed the split checkout? Is this the new split checkout beta? Is that what you're talking about? Okay. I'm not exactly up to speed with what the issue is. But if you can describe it, that might refresh my memory. Actually go in here and check on split checkout and see if we can take a look at it. Doesn't let you choose store credit. Okay, that might. Let me check.
I vaguely remember that going into dev done. I'm not sure if it's being pushed yet though.
See, I cannot choose. Oh, well, I can't choose store credit because I don't have any. Find somebody who's got.
David's got some.
Oh, Reese has $1,000.
Oh, cheeky Reese, eh?
Okay, so we can add it here, but it might have been buys that were messing that up. So just let me try that. Oh, hey, that's a bug. So that's probably a really random use case. Oh, oops. Store credit. Yeah. So I think we're good here. I don't know if you were watching, but I remember that was an issue, and so it looks like it's gotten deployed. So yeah, barcode scanning. So for events, so we had a feature for a while where you could like link events to main events and sub events. We looked into it. It didn't look like anyone is actually utilizing that feature, and it was actually causing a bit of complication on just the event side of things. It was causing a few bugs, so we've deprecated support for that. And we fixed some issues with some of the date formatting. So that should be correct now. That always happens around daylight savings time. And admin portal. So this is just internal, but we just have some tools where we can fix missing cards and some of the price floors that the account managers were putting in for you guys weren't making it to the database. So when they were updating price floors, they weren't always going through the first time. And a couple of catalog fixes with some duplicate cards. So this was probably a few weeks back. You guys remember we had to remove some duplicate cards. I think we changed a few things with Pokemon. And we had to make some fixes regarding that. eBay integration, we've got where you can unpublish listings altogether. So we're sets in beta, so we're always finding little issues here and there that we've got to fix. And image content will no longer appear in the eBay listing editor. What was that one, David? I'm not familiar with that one.
I think what was happening there was the base 64 encoded stuff would show in the eBay editor, and so you just see a whole bunch of gobbledygook in the yeah, and it was just taking up a lot of space. So
gotcha, cool. We had its field validation for the marketplace integration, and this is related to the marketplace integration, but we had some issues with orders coming in from the CSV marketplace, and Shopify didn't like them. And so it was causing some delays in orders going through to Shopify. And now it's got a retry mechanism that will automatically handle those sorts of things for us. And moving on into the third week of November. WPN report. I think for those of you guys who have WPN Premium, they added a new column, changed that format slightly, and it just included your currency code. So we got that updated. Long item names and the point of sale will no longer overflow. So that was very apparent in the Adventures in the Forgotten Realms. Let's see if I can pull up an example here. Yeah, so yeah, things are pretty cut off here. So of course you see the card name, but like the set name goes on. And there's some examples where this definitely makes it not apparent what kind of card it is. Well, now you can click on it and you get this nice pop-up. So some of the really, really, really long set and card names, you've got the option to at least toggle whether or not you can see the whole things or not. Fixed bug where split payment system wouldn't allow you to apply store credit. So yeah, I think that was Dylan. You mentioned that one. Yeah, that one was taken care of November 15th. Carts can no longer be submitted with no tender information attached. There was a bit of a UI bug where $0 or carts that if you're doing a buy and sell on the same cart, I believe, and it equaled out to $0, it just did some weird stuff in the background with how the tender information was attached. So now this makes sure that there's a tender attached, even if it totals out to 0. So that way on our back end things work a bit better. See if no store tax has been set, an error is now shown before checkout. So this is a common situation with new customers, is whenever you first use the point of sale, if you don't go put in any of your tax settings, there is no base tax setting, so there's nothing there, and so it starts trying to divide by null and do a bunch of crazy stuff, and so it would freak out the point of sale until you go in and put that setting. And of course, the account manager is pretty aware of that, and they walked everyone through it. But now we have an error message to help people along without our intervention there. Fixed issue where longer tables overflowed their modal. This is like buy list rules, mainly things in the buy list where there's like a long chart with like lots of information on it. Sometimes it would like exit its container and like go out towards the bottom. So we fixed a few issues like that. Let's see, move feature switch logic to a centralized state. That's kind of an internal thing, but basically when we roll out some new features, we have the ability to turn those on and off without having to redeploy all of our code. So that way, if we realize there's an issue or we want to, pick a specific time where we want to roll something out, we can just flip it on and off. And so we just changed a little bit about how that's handled. And let's see, we got one from Mason. Events have pop-up dialogues when they are sold through the point of sale. Is this a function we could potentially add to other types of items sold? Yeah, I mean, it is. There's no reason why we couldn't. We'd have to think of like a way to make it like generic, but just like a generic required information, or maybe like required item note. I don't know. That's an interesting idea, but it definitely would be helpful. Like I think for people like taking trade-ins of like video games and stuff, you could like require a driver's license number, require a serial number for an Xbox or something like that. So yeah, yep. Yeah, that's something that we'll put in because that's mostly a front end thing. It might be something Pete could work on as an extra feature. You see any reason, David, outside of, I mean, that we've got most of that there for the events, right?
Yeah, but the events store it in a different way than what we would store it on products, I believe.
Yeah.
So we might need to add additional column in the database for this, which is not a problem, but
yeah,
just need to have a think on it, really.
Yeah, we'll have a discussion about that one, but I think we could do it because we have cart notes. This would be like cart item notes, and then just a way to somehow input what's required, and the interface and stuff for that. But yeah, we'll think about that one. That's a pretty neat idea. Some other updates here for Safety Marketplace integration. Just kind of has to do with how you search for items to add variant rules. We had negative price markup, which I think was something people wanted. If they wanted to be a little bit lower than what their in-store price was, and added the marketplace order number to Shopify. So I think it was a little bit hard for those of y'all using marketplace. If you had a lot of orders, that it would not be clear what the order number was on the Shopify page without having to click into it. Well, now it's a tag, so you can search a CFB marketplace order in your Shopify, and it'll pull that order pretty quickly. See, got one from Dylan. Is there a way to integrate or embed the calendar module in a page? Do you mean? Oops, I forgot to click done on this other. See, Dylan, answer live. Is there a way to integrate or embed a calendar module in a page? I'm not sure, David. I mean, that's pretty baked into the theme, right?
Yeah, is that referring to the theme, or is it into like a different website, or what's the you referring to from the Shopify side of things? Inside the Shopify page. Yeah, we can definitely put it on other pages and stuff like that. It'd have to be something we'd add as an additional module in the themes, which isn't difficult. So I don't see any reason why we can't.
Yeah, I think on that note, I wish Reese was here. He'd be able to comment a little bit better. But I know one of the things that the theme team is working on right now is migrating the theme over to Shopify 2.0. And there's not a lot of difference. But one of the big things with Shopify theme 2.0, which is their kind of infrastructure for making themes, is things are a little bit more modular. So I think that gives you we'd be able to make the calendar into a component that could be put into various pages. So, but we'll talk to Reese about that one. It would definitely be an update on how we can how you can have some flexibility with the calendar. Let's see, Paul, is there a reason we can't have automated seal pricing? I think it's more about just making sure we have enough data to like generate an accurate price for seal pricing, because that's always one of the scary things is you don't want to race to the bottom type situation. But there's no reason why we can't. I mean, it's set up in our system the same way as singles. But we're just kind of exploring what that workflow is going to look like. And, it might be just like singles, or it might be something where you kind of go in and you just have a quick way of like, apply the latest price to all of my sealed product. Once we figure it's definitely on our radar. Like we want, everything in the catalog to have pricing at some point. It's just making sure we identify the proper sources and making sure we can update it in a way that's not going to be detrimental to people's businesses. So, but yeah, we're definitely something we're working on. Mason, can we get access to receipt code? There's tons of little things that we'd like to add or edit. Yeah. So we actually have this in our, we have a separate experimental branch, and it's basically the whole receipt is templatized. So if you've ever dealt with like maybe stuff on Shopify or in some things where you can kind of put certain variables in certain places and customize a layout, that's how the new receipt system is going to work. We just got to do a little bit of kind of tidying up on our back end to make sure we fully support it properly. But you'd actually be able to build a receipt however you want, move things around, do your own calculations inside it if you wanted to add something or, put a message or, whatever. So that's coming probably pretty fairly soon. Like I said, there's just a little bit of a tidying up we've got to do on the back end, and so probably will be after Christmas, but definitely something we've had on our radar for a long time is custom receipts, because everybody's got different requirements, especially in other countries, like in the EU. I know there's several countries that have requirements for how things are laid out on receipts, and we want to make sure we can support all of that. Pretty fairly soon as textbook developer talk. Yeah, it is. We've got code written for this. So it's just a matter of making sure we can release it in a way that it's going to be more helpful than frustrating. That's really our aim. But yeah, pretty fairly soon. I've got a bunch of sticky notes on my monitor right here that say that. Okay, I've got chat and I've got question and answer. So I think I've missed a few things in chat. So I'm going to go over there and make sure. The hours of operation for Binder accounting department, I've been trying to get a hold of them and I can't get them. It's accounting at BinderPOS.com, right, David? And I know they're in New Zealand, so it's probably
accounts.
Sorry, accounts at BinderPOS.com. And what would the hours be? I guess it'd be like 9 to 5 there for you in New Zealand. So that would be.
I don't know what that is. So you guys are 5 hours difference.
Well, here in Central Time, that'd be 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. Central Time. So if you're in the States, and you can do the adjustment there. Yeah, 9 to 5 for NZ time. Yeah, sorry, I assumed, I don't know where you're at, but yeah, NZ time, East Coast. Yeah, so that'd be 3 hours different for you. So that would be noon to 8. Yeah, account should be an alias for accounts. Yeah, that's a pretty solid suggestion there. And billing.
Yeah, definitely. We should probably, I'll make a ticket for that because we can definitely just have those just forward onto that group. So
Yeah, we can. Yeah, we've got a catch-all too, right? I think that goes to like support.
I'm not too sure, to be honest.
Yeah, I get some weird emails every now and then that are like at really random. So I don't know where the catch-all goes. We should probably double check that one. Goes to Josh. No, just kidding. All right. Let's see. So back over to the question and answer. What about embedding event calendar in external site? There's no way to do it now. I don't think there's.
So it is in theory possible to do with you just have to inject the library that builds the calendar and then run a little bit of code that initializes the calendar. But the other thing that needs to be done there is the whitelisting of the domain so that domain can pull your calendar information onto that website.
Yeah. Yep. So I think you could do it with a little bit of elbow grease, and you would have to send the URL of the site you're embedding it to the account manager and just say, hey, I need this whitelisted for event. I guess event calendar, which is something they do all the time whenever you set up new domains. Let's see. Is there an issue with timeouts on advanced search? If someone searches a card like Dark Magician, it will never load. There is an issue with advanced search timing out. So we've got one of our new developers that is the sole thing he's been working on for the past month is optimizing advanced search. So we did a little fix about a month or two ago that sped some things up. But the trick is whenever you search for something that has a large amount of results, so like Dark Magician, great example. There's tons of Dark Magicians and there's sets, I think, that even have Dark Magician in the name. And this is just for advanced search. This doesn't affect point of sale search as much. But whenever you do that and that's ordered by something, it's a little bit analytically heavy on the way we have our database set up. And so we're migrating to some newer technologies and kind of the way we handle that. And that's going to speed things up pretty good bit. And we're just kind of in the processes of validating that, but we actually do have that in our development environment right now. So as who was it who said that? Mason. As Mason said, I'll repeat what Mason said that I say a lot, which is pretty fairly soon. But no, that'll be Q1 next year after the holidays. Or the goal is kind of here up until the end of the year. We'll be getting that validated, and then next year, January, February, we'll be releasing that. Multi-location support when? That's a harder question, but that is something that we've got another new developer that's working on our inventory system in general, and just kind of looking at ideas of how to streamline that and make it compatible with things like Shopify's multi-location and all the other kind of sales channels we have. So it's not something that's on the back burner, but it's also a really big undertaking. So it's not going to be something that we can have a couple of developers on for a couple of weeks and get it done. It's something that's to really be validated, really make sure that we're doing it right, because we don't want to introduce regressions when it comes to inventory. So we have to be really careful anything we do with inventory to make sure that we're doing it right. But the developer we have on the job's pretty sharp. So and they've got a pretty big game plan for how we can make some adjustments and make some improvements on inventory. And that's not just multi-location, that's how fast inventory updates. So whenever you do like a CSV upload or a bulk update, that'll be a lot faster. In addition to hopefully supporting some form of multi-location. We're still kind of in the details of how Shopify is going to support multi-location in the future and making sure that, you know, what we pick is going to work for your Shopify and also work for BinderPOS. Let's see. SKU opt-out. Y'all killing me 10 hours every set or update. SKU opt-out. Are you talking about, do you mean like, so let me go to the settings and show you what I think you might be talking about. I just want to make sure. This would be this catalog update settings. Are you talking about like actually, no, you've got SKU opt-out. So you can actually go in here and you can choose opt-out product SKU, and we won't update your SKUs anymore. Is that what you were talking about? I think so. So yeah, if that's not what you're talking about, just throw another question here. But I'm going to assume that you didn't know about that, and that's our bad for not communicating that. But we did go from just a simple opt-out to you can actually go in here and choose individual product lines and what fields you want to not get updated. So that should take care of that. If you've got your own custom SKU set up, you can keep doing that, and we won't touch it. We'll initially push them. So we'll initially push whatever we come up with for SKU. So when a new set comes out, you'll still get that, but you can go change that, and then it'll never change again. Let's see, David Edelson asks, how can I be the buy list so I know which cards my store is buying? I'm not sure which cards I put up. Need to update it. Okay, so I think what you're asking is like you have some buy list rules set up. You're not sure how they're applying, and you want to know, you know, if you're actually buying a card and for how much. The best way to do that is just to go to your website and log in and view the buy list. You can also go into the point of sale, and just what I'll do a lot is I'll open a tab in the point of sale. And if I'm playing with some rules, you know, for like say a certain set, I'll just put this over in buy mode. And if I see it generating a sell or a buy price here, so like see these are blank, they don't have anything. That means you're not buying it on your online buy list. But if it's got a price here, then you are purchasing that on your online buy list as well. So that's probably the best way to tell. And of course, you know, checking it on the website as well if you're not 100% sure. Long before other games come available, like Digimon, to have single prices. We're still working on it. So we're, you know, especially these new games like MetaZoo and Digimon, we're, you know, it's all about data and making sure we have enough data to make sure that, you know, we have accurate pricing. And so, because the last thing we want to do is release bad pricing out there that just messes with everything. So I can't really give an answer. As far as like the coding and technology, like we've got all that, but it's just waiting to get enough volume of sales and things like that, so we know that we have accurate data. Let's see. Okay, I see, David. I see your comment here. I'm just reading that. Put up a bunch of cards for purchase on a buy list. Don't remember what cards I put up. There's a way I can view all the cards on one page. Cards up on a buy list. I'm not 100% sure what you mean. Is this like from a customer perspective or from like your perspective? Like, is this a buy list that you're creating in the point of sale, or is this a buy list that store perspective? Okay, is it in point of sale, like you're like what I'm sharing right here, or is this like
kind of like was it like a hot list type of thing that you're trying to create?
buy list the store is making? So I think, are you talking about buy list rules? because that's how our buy list typically. You'll come in here and you'll make buy list rules, and these will cover some things, and then you can go into inventory management here and you can set overrides. Yeah, I think I can do that. Let me see how Zoom works. There you go. David, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so my question is that so earlier when I first got BinderPOS, I was playing around with the buy list and I put a bunch of random cards that I was buying at 50% market value. I don't recall what cards they were. I was wondering if there's like a way that I can view like the whole buy list at once, so I know like, okay, these are the cards that I'm currently purchasing that I'm looking for right now. Is there a way that I can just view that whole entire summary? That's what I'm looking for.
Okay.
Did you manually set the prices in the inventory management screen, like rather than like a buy
Yeah,
list
yeah. Yeah, in the inventory management, I set like the certain cards that I remember pricing out at 50%. So like
Right.
when I search for like whatever card, if it's in the buy list, I see if it how much the store's purchasing it for. But I'm trying to remember what cards I put on there because I want to turn on the buy list because I never really turned it on yet. But I don't want to turn it on and then people see these cards on the buy list that I'm not purchasing. You know what I mean?
I gotcha. Now it's cooking for me. Yeah. Okay. I'm not sure. I know there's a way to search for regular price overrides. Is there a way to search for buy list overrides here?
I'm not too sure. I can't remember off the top of my head, but if you want to clear them out, there's an easy way to do that, which is up there with the bulk update search. You can just go in there once you've set your search criteria and just set the buy prices and just set them all to, basically an empty value. I think if you check one of them.
So the answer is you can reset them if you're
that's
not
what
sure.
I want to do.
Yeah, so you can go in here to. So what I would do first is I would select like a card game that if this is Magic, select Magic, and then you can go to bulk update search, and that's going to basically everything that the search covers, and you can go into. Which one would I do here?
So if you fix buy list price / cash,
Probably
for example,
percentage. Yeah, that's the one
and then
I
you
have
just
it
remove
set
them.
to.
And then you just check the remove checkbox. It's a little bit unclear here, but
it's odd.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. I see. And then you
needs
click
to be
remove.
Indented.
Okay. Yeah.
I'll create a ticket for that to make the screen a little bit clearer.
Yeah. So if you do this will remove it on everything, and then you can kind of go back through and. But David, while you're there, go ahead and make a ticket for that just being something we can search for as well, because that would be helpful. Yep.
Yeah, I could definitely. I'm currently away from my my BinderPOS terminal, but I will write. I'm going to write that down so I can remember to put in a ticket. And also, I was the one who asked about accounts because accounts saying that I had an overdue balance. I tried to get a hold of them twice. I even spoke to Danielle and Hannah on the main Discord channel, and they told me they sent a thing out to accounts, but still accounts hasn't reached out to me. So I'm trying to get that issue resolved.
Yeah. Oh, well, I will, unless you're David from which store?
ACS Gaming.
ACS Gaming. Got it. I will send a message right now to the right person on Slack and get that taken care of for you.
Yes, please. Because I was also interested in downgrading out of the premium theme and go down to the standard theme because my store doesn't do as much online anymore. So that's why I kind of want to downgrade it a little bit.
Yeah, they can definitely help you out with that. All right. Well, thanks, David. Hopefully this will get your buy price situation figured out, and we'll try to get some of these quality of life things on the board to make that a little bit easier for you in the future.
Perfect. And I had one more question as well. Are you guys going to also put in singles for the new My Hero Academia CCG as well?
I can't really comment. I know that particular card game has popped up before, so I think if there's a list of things that we're going to add soon, it's probably somewhere on there, but I can't really guarantee or say anything. It's I know it's supposed to be pretty big, so our long-term goal is to support as much as we can.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate all you're doing, and I really appreciate it.
Hey, no problem. We appreciate it, David. All right. Next question from Dylan. Any word on gift cards as store credit? Gift cards or store credit. Is that?
That's the new update where Shopify now allows you to any plan to use gift cards, I believe, so that we can do proper taxing on store credit.
That is coming soon, if that's what he's talking about. So basically the situation where store credit on the website is counted as a discount, which affects taxes for people in regions that need to tax store credit. Soon we'll have the option to run that store credit as a gift card. This is for your online store, which will be taxed. So be able to pull that tax out of there. So that's something we've done. We just got to kind of get through the holidays, get it validated, get it deployed. So that's another kind of Q1, do some more testing and validation and try to get it out. Hopefully January, February next year, but I can't make any promises because we do have a lot of things that are kind of going on in that time period, but it's one of our top priority issues because I know it's, especially in Canada, it's affecting a lot of people from using store credit on their website. So where Shopify does not support inventory history over 90 days, is there anything that Binder could do to capture history for us? Yeah, that's we were talking about. Someone asked a question about multi-location earlier, and I was talking about we've got a developer kind of looking at our inventory system in general and some upgrades for that. And yeah, this is one of the things that's going to go along with that is a full audit log. And so the idea is you'd be able to go into BinderPOS and you'd be able to see, okay, this item was adjusted by employee XYZ at this time from a buy list, from this buy list number, from this order number, or they did it with the CSV at this time, or they did it, in inventory management. So basically as much details that we have, put it on there, and we won't expire that history after 90 days because there's really no reason to. And so you would have that full inventory history. Now that's not going to be something we'd be able to do retroactively. We wouldn't be able to add this feature and you go back 3 years from today and look at stuff. But going forward, when we do implement this, you'll have that running log of inventory history and other types of actions that take place in the system as well is something we're looking at. Is it possible to add collection from Shopify as a point of sale folder? I don't think so, or it's definitely not possible. I'm trying to think if it's possible to implement. Their logic for collections is weird, and we would have to replicate that somehow, and it could get a little bit messy. So at the moment, no. Now, if that ever changes and they add APIs or something where we can access collections, it might be something we could do. Or make available in BinderPOS in some form or fashion, but it's more likely we'll add our own, and this will be way in the future, but we'll add our own type of collection system for those folders. So you'd be able to make a folder that was, all events that happened this week or, something like that, rather than replicating Shopify's. So we got another one from Mason. How's a buy list update coming along? We were told we could potentially have anything be part of buy list. How's that going? Yeah, so that's like the next big project. So we're scoping that out, or we're in the final stages of scoping that out. And we're actually kind of hoping to break ground on that next week. Of course, it's December, so there's never a ton of progress on projects in December. So it's going to be an ongoing thing over several months. But we really hope, I don't want to keep throwing out, timelines and things because I don't want to be the guy that gives out timelines and, doesn't make it. But, it would be further along than Q1 of next year for sure. But we've got some really awesome ideas for the new buy list, and it's going to be answer to a lot of issues people have with our current buy list. And we think it's going to be the best buy list out there. So, yeah. And so that, we had some discussion in Discord, and I think maybe the last session about how that might work. Basically, we're going to have a rules engine that'll let you have rules that are built on like search selections. So you'd be able to do really complicated things like I want all holographic GX Pokemon cards under $5, and it would select all those. And then you could apply some rule to it, and you might say, hey, I want it to be all those to be $1, or I'll buy any of those for $1. I'll buy any of those for some function of the market price, or however you want to do it, rounding, things like that. It's gonna be pretty extensible is the plan, but also like we'll have some simple options in there to kind of replicate what we have, but you'll be able to go pretty advanced with the new buy list is the plan, because we don't want to have to make another one. Pretty fairly soon. Yeah, I know. If it was done, you'd know about it. You'd be using it. Yeah, no, and I appreciate that feedback too, Mason. Yeah, buy list is one of those things that's like, it's got a lot of things right, but there's just a few points on it that cause, depending on your use case, cause enough headache to not want to use it. And that's the goal with, we're calling it buy list 2.0 internally, but that's the goal with the buy list upgrade, is to make it, you can use it for anything. So if you sell something totally random in your store, you can use the buy list for this if it meets that use case. So all right, got one catalog here. See, it appears to be a number of inconsistencies with the way data is handled. Catalog entries, naming conventions, card name sets, variants tend to change across games and sets. Can you give us some insight to what the team is doing to address these inconsistencies? The recent changes to vintage Pokemon precisions were great for a step in the right direction, but eager to see what else your team is working on. I think Stetson is in the chat. I don't know if he's actually around, but I'm going to promote him. And if he talks, that means he's here. And if he doesn't, that means he might be preoccupied working on the catalog. Oh, he joined. You hear Stetson?
It's just muted at the moment.
Sorry, I had to unmute myself. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Did you see that question from Guardian Games?
Excellent. Yeah, let me open that back up. It signs me out when you
It's mainly just general, like kind of what sort of addressing some of the inconsistencies, and you want me to read
can
it
you
to
copy and paste it? Yeah, it lost the history when it signed me out.
Yeah, I'll send it to you in Slack real quick.
All right, yeah. So you've probably noticed there's been a lot of fixes over the past couple of months. So I took on this position mid-September. And a lot of our data and the catalog is pretty rough and is incredibly inconsistent. So we've been going through that slowly but surely. It's a lot of data. There's over 100,000 different products that I have to deal with and make sure that it is internally consistent. So the way we're doing this for the most part is I'm focusing game at a time. MTG being our biggest data set has been my main focus. So I'm trying to get that data situated. Pokemon is going to be the next one. Now that doesn't mean I exclusively work on MTG. There's like the vintage Pokemon, like you said, that we went ahead and fixed that. And one of the main reasons is those older Pokemon sets split it into first edition and unlimited, and there was literally an image difference, which we couldn't support with the way it was previously set up. So we split that into first edition and unlimited, and we fixed it in that manner. So other things with the Pokemon sets, like we used to have a set that was something like theme deck exclusives. And because we had that set, sometimes catalog team members wouldn't realize that, and they'd go add something into the regular set to make an entry there that they thought was missing. So there's other resolutions we're making. Hyphen GX is another thing in Pokemon cards. Pokemon Company, when they actually talk about their Pokemon cards online, they have a hyphen GX, but they never print the hyphen on the actual card. So some of that has slipped through the cracks. It's a bunch of little things like that. Flesh and Blood is another one. The tokens have been messed up, but I think we cleared a good bit of that the other day. So I wish I could give a better idea of what it is exactly we're working on, but it's a big data set, and it's a whole lot of different things going on, but we're resolving the tickets as they come in. Your MTG data should be clearing up for you. We're going to move on to Pokemon. Yu-Gi-Oh would be next after Pokemon, and then just go from there.
Cool. Yeah. So Stats has been working really hard for the past. So you've been with us since part-time since June, right? And then full-time recently. Nope, lost you. But yeah, so Stetson's been working really hard, getting this up to speed for everyone. And yeah, so if you have any issues with the catalog, shoot them through the Fresh Desk, and Stetson will pretty much get them in his inbox. So yeah, so let me answer that one. All right, Guardian Games, is it possible to introduce sell override by percentage? Might be something we can look at. So kind of like how the buy price works, but for sell price. Yeah, it's a bit tricky. How our pricing system works, and that's something that we're going to address at some point in the future. Not anytime soon. Depending on how the buy list goes with that rules engine. Once that's released and we see how people are using it, we might look at implementing something similar for just pricing in general. That would be pretty fairly off in the future, but it is something we have in mind. Do you have any idea if store credit will ever be applied post-tax on website purchases and store credit for those of us in jurisdictions where that is required? Yes. So yeah, we talked a little bit about that earlier. But now that Shopify has added gift card support for all levels on Shopify, we can implement store credit using gift cards, which will still charge the tax instead of discounts, which don't charge the tax. So we'll have that option. You'll be able to select between one or the other, depending on what jurisdiction you're in and how taxes work for things like store credit. So again, that's something that we've done. We've got it. We're in the testing stage. It's going to be after the holidays because yeah, it's just how December goes. But January, February of next year is the plan to get that out there because that one's pretty high up on our list. Premium theme. Advanced search seems to show products we have archived, set as drafts, and removed sales channels for in Shopify, but the regular search function does not do this. I'm assuming this is a bug. We have put in support to this. Yeah. So the difference between advanced search and the regular Shopify search on your website is that the regular Shopify search searching Shopify, the advanced search is actually searching BinderPOS. So depending on how BinderPOS is reflecting your Shopify data, there might be some things that appear there. One of the ways that one of the things that is ignored is we don't know what sales channels things are published to or not, which is an issue when it comes to search, because if we don't know that, we don't know whether they're included or not whenever you search for it. The second one is draft products. So draft products were something that was introduced about 1.5 years ago, maybe a little bit longer, but it was after we developed the advanced search. And so our system has no concept of draft products in Shopify because that's not information that they sent to us in the past. And I don't think it's something they send to us now. So yeah, that's basically the situation there. For singles, our expectation was that singles wouldn't be deleted really, since that's kind of something that we handle through the catalog. So we kind of weighed our options there and just search for anything that you have in BinderPOS. Realize that probably doesn't work for every single store out there that might have a workflow where they do want to delete some cards or leave them out of the search for some reason. If you've got that in a ticket, then we probably have that on our development board. And so if you can put as much details about what it is exactly you're trying to do in that ticket, we might not be able to have the perfect solution, but we might be able to find something there that'll work for you. All right. Wow. Yeah, I got a lot of questions here. Let's see. So I got this one from Larry. It says, can we create different logins so that we can track employees who are entering deleting cards for cash inventory control? So we recently had a discussion about a PIN system and how that might work. So we have users. You can create different users, but it's a little bit, if you're in the point of sale like this and you want to,
You're not sharing your screen.
oh, I'm
right?
not sharing my screen. Let me fix that.
There's only a few places at the moment that it tracks that information on the users, right? Which is buy lists and point of sales and whatnot.
It does. So it tracks it. It tracks it. I don't know if it displays it, but I know for a fact that it tracks it in point of sale, inventory management, and buy lists. Which inventory management and buy lists, well, really all of them are pretty important. But what it's tracking is this user here that you're logged into, and it's a little bit out of the way and unwieldy to, if you had multiple users and you wanted to pin in or something for them to exit the point of sale, log out, come back here, log in, forget your password like I did. And why did that happen? Okay. Yeah. So like I said, unwieldy. And then go back in the point of sale and process over, and then potentially, right after that, someone else pick it up. So what we're looking at, we're trying to figure out how this works with our current authentication system, but basically some kind of a PIN system, or maybe a barcode that you can scan into here that just swaps a user between a set of logged in users. And then of course, updating the reporting to make sure that, because we do record this information, but make sure everywhere that you're looking at a resource that's been changed, that if it can indicate who changed it, that's properly displayed. So yeah, that's something we definitely talked about and have on our radar. What about being able to sync POS shortcuts between users? I think
it's per till, isn't it?
It's per till. Yeah. It's per till, which is still a valid, what would be interesting? I don't know. I'll talk to Pete about this, because this is actually just a big JSON object. I'll talk to Pete about putting it in the settings, maybe. So like if there was like somewhere in here where you could just select a till, or maybe here, you could select a till, and maybe there's a button that's like edit quick links. And if you click on it, it's just a text box, as long as you paste in a valid. So you could copy from one and paste it into the other. I don't know if that's helpful. We've got a ton of tills, but I know most stores only have like, maybe 3 or 4. So I don't know if the copying and pasting is monotonous, or if we just need a setting to like have like global quick links, because I don't want to take away quick links from people that are using them per till. So it's kind of tricky. There'll be an in-stock, out-of-stock filter toggle that end users can use on the website front end in any of the themes. I'm not sure. I'd have to talk to the theme team on that one. Is there a reason we don't have that, David? I seem to remember that like Shopify had an issue with that, because Shopify search doesn't support filtering in or out of stock, does it?
The advanced search does, but I don't
Yeah.
know about the Shopify side of the search. I don't think they allow that. I think they have collections where you can put in stock only items, but you can't specifically filter out of stock directly, I think.
Yeah.
Off the top of my head.
Yeah, there's an issue with their search doesn't support filtering that out. You can have collections that filter in and out of stock. And then of course advanced search supports it. And I think that's one of the reasons we added advanced search, was just kind of some of the shortcomings of Shopify search, which is kind of bizarre that they don't support. And I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure their search doesn't support an in and out of stock filter. In case you didn't notice, there are thousands of cards where your data TCG ID field is invalid. Yeah, so we have a lot of third-party IDs on our data, and you're probably referring to a long time ago, we had the TCG player ID in the HTML, and I think that still gets generated in there. Yeah, it's definitely possible some of those things don't have TCG IDs. Yeah, I don't know about thousands of cards. Like if it's Magic, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, those sorts of things, it should definitely have it. It might not be getting generated in your description. If you do use that for some reason, if you're, you're kind of cooking up something on your side, we should be able to repush that data. And as long as the description gets regenerated, it'll have, get the latest data that we have. We don't require that for everything, so it might not be there for like I don't think MetaZoo has it. I'm not sure about Digimon. But yeah, so just shoot a ticket in with some details on that. We can take a look at that for you. And Mason, in the point of sale, could there be a way to have a completed cart sent to Shopify as an unfulfilled order for things like pre-orders? That would be nice. Yeah, I see what you're saying. To like just have a button that's like save it, and like if it saves it, it's like a draft order in Shopify. That gets a little bit tricky because Shopify and BinderPOS really aren't a one-to-one when it comes to orders. That's kind of one of our big things about, we send orders through to Shopify for like information purposes. Really, like we handle the inventory and all that stuff on our end ahead of time because we just do things that Shopify doesn't support. Like multiple tenders and buy items and things like that. But it's possible we could maybe do something like that for pre-orders, like as an optional thing. We just have to think on it. I know pre-orders come up quite a bit, just how to handle pre-orders across Shopify and BinderPOS, because we definitely want to tie that up, where you don't have to go append pre-order at the end of your item and then, all that stuff, but actually have a way to handle pre-orders. So I'm sure when that comes up again, an idea like this or something that is effectively the same will probably be what we eventually implement. And could an open and Shopify context option be available for quick links? I'm not sure. I'd have to check. So we can do the open in Shopify option on search results because these search results contain the Shopify ID in them. I'd have to go look and see if that Shopify ID is stored in quick links. I don't think it is. I think what is in quick links is actually I think I just trolled myself. Add one real quick. Yeah, if there were an item, I don't think that stores the Shopify ID, and that's what we generate the link from. But we could look into it. And let me check the chat because I've been neglecting that. Y'all are talking about it's like the inventory stuff for Shopify. Yeah, probably could do some convoluted JavaScript code to fix that. Right, clicking items and search lets you open in Shopify for sure. Yeah. Yep. So yeah, I think the reason I don't have it here is because it's just I can't generate the link from the information that we store in quick links. Cool. All right. Well, I think we're well past our time, but I'm glad a lot of people did show up. I was kind of worried there at the beginning. There's gonna be a couple of us. Quick links for recurring events. Auto hide delete past events, future events. Yes. So the deleting past events is something that's like actively being worked on like this week. So yeah, and then quick links, that would be cool if a quick link just had like current events or something like that. Yep, for sure. definitely something we're looking at. All right. Well, I think this about wraps it up. So yeah, I hope everybody enjoyed this. We'll have a recording put together at some point and posted somewhere. And we're gonna have another dev blog. Just kind of like general monthly update should go out at some point this week. So keep eyes on the homepage for that. And yeah, if y'all ever need anything or have any questions or just want to follow up, feel free to shoot an email to support. If you just say, hey, get this question to Barrett or get this question to David or get this question to Stetson, like it'll get to our inboxes. So feel free to do that. And yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, that's definitely what we want to do here, Mason, is just kind of try to be as open and transparent as possible about what we're working on, how we're doing it. Make sure you guys know that we're spending as much effort as we can to fix some of these issues. It's just a matter of juggling priorities and making sure that the things that affect the most customers are what get worked on. But we're pretty happy with the progress we've made in the past few months, especially with some of our new developers that have come on. And so we're hoping to keep this momentum going well in the next year and have a lot of awesome stuff out for you guys. So I will end the meeting here and catch you guys next month. Have a good one.
Take it easy, everyone. Bye.